Testing. Okay, we're live. Welcome back to day 4 of Firebug. This is the rehearsed edition. Today we're doing CSS day to make this look more like this. So we've already had a rehearsal of this, and we discovered quite a few things that go on behind this. And I'm basically just going to go and dive right in. Like, this is the only thing that we're going to do today, which is make CSS pay more attention to CSS. He's using some sort of like CSS and JS thing where it auto-generates sort of unique class names. We're going to use raw CSS. That's just purely a convenience choice. We could very well use something like style components in a future cloning project, but we're not doing that for now. Okay, so first level, first thing I want to clone is the font, because that's like a global thing that I'm struggling with the width here. Okay, so the font family is this stuff. So I will just pretty much just take that verbatim. La la la. Away. There we go. And then we go to the title bar. The title bar is this thing. And it's a flex box with 3 bits, essentially the first bit, the middle bit, then the end bit, and then the last box. So we'll essentially just duplicate that. So there's the title bar. Okay, so a title bar, this is the app header. Is what we call the app header. So I'm just going to do it within app.css. I could split it out to a separate component, but kind of don't feel like it. The other thing to note is that the middle text piece is an H1, but it's kind of styled in some way. I don't know how he styles that. Anyway, so let's the bar that we have is essentially this header thing. So the app header has a height of, let's see, has a padding of 10 pixels, and that's about it. Do I want to copy all this stuff? Yeah, why not? I don't need any of this. All right, very good. So let's see how things are. All right, things are not that great, but we'll keep going. Then we have 4 pieces. So a div for the date, I guess. Okay, I'll just call this the timer piece because I know that I'm going to have to put a timer on this thing later on. Sure, I'll call this a timer piece. I know I said this is supposed to be a CSS thing, but I just can't resist timer. This is fun. This is what we're here for, right? Interval. I just want to see a ticking clock because I like ticking clocks. Okay. And timer's there. So that's the first piece, that's the second piece, and then we have 2 more pieces. Div search bar, that's going to be another component, and then div options, something like that. We have a ticking timer clock, and then these are all kind of spread out nicely. This is at the center, though. I don't super quite know how he achieves that. And I'm not sure if I want to spend extra time thinking about it. So it's flexbox of 1. Font size, blah blah blah. I should just clone some of this stuff. Okay, so display flex on this. Timer has a class as well. A app timer, whatever. And that's this guy here. And then, yeah, this is centered app title. App title's font size 150. And we should look a little closer. Oh, why is this on the left? It's because at the top, we're doing text centering somewhere. So we're aligning things centered in the parent div for h1. And over here, in this div, oh, this is spreading way too far. What is this doing? That's flex of 1. Right, so this is flex of 1. And then this is not flexed. So how is this cut off? I guess because of these guys. So let's keep going. So this is the search bar. Search bar is position relative and flex of 1. So class name app search hopefully looks a little better. Okay, very good. And then options is all the way at the end. So I'm going to stop there for the title because we got more to do. And then the bottom piece is a flex box of 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. I think I may have gone for grid. So that's the main. We're on to main.js now and main.css. What I plan to do. Okay, yeah, so I went for grid. There's no particular reason why, but it's just fun. We're going to have to replicate these box pieces here, and that was done with border right. I don't know if I can just copy that over. And first of all, this is the first panel, second panel, third panel, fourth panel, right? So children of div get all these properties. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like I don't need grid, so I'm gonna take away grid and just do display flex, and I'm gonna do that layout for children div, and I'll just replicate all of these guys. Why not? I am cloning after all, right? Cloning means I can do whatever I want. There is this little technicality of the last one, so I need not last child. Never remember the syntax, so not colon not. What? Just let me highlight. I want to copy. How does that work? Okay, so I think that might do it, and then I'll like make the calendar component in a future episode. But then the other thing I need to take care of is this main is not taking up the full screen, which I need it to. So let's see how this is done. Basically, it's a vertical flex from the top, and then it just takes up the remainder row. So I think I'll just go ahead and do that as well. So that means going back to app.js and app CSS. And then where we have app and header and main, we're going to have display flex, right? And then within main.css, this is going to have flex of 1 as well. So, and that flex direction has to be a column. Did that not do it? Okay, so app itself has to be has to take up the whole screen, and that's all of these guys. Okay, good. There we go. Much better. So now we go down to routines, where we do the individual panels. And routines is a bunch of flexes. So we go to routine here, and I'll probably have a routine.css. That's a thing as well. Okay. So now we need to check out how this is structured. That's an H2. Okay, so first of all, I want to draw your attention to how this is structured. So this is the routines panel, and then we got H2, and then we got the monthly and weekly, and then we got the footer. That's it, 3 elements at the top level. So I need to be very strict about that because I lost a lot of time not thinking about that the first time around. That was actually done in main, where I have top level, and I got this H2 over here. Then I got divs. I have a div for monthly routines and weekly routines. And then I have a final div for the footer. Footer, whatever. Just laying that out will save a bunch of time being just having a good sense of what we're doing. Okay, so routines itself is a flex. I'm going to use this so much that I'm just going to put it in my clipboard. So if you don't know, the way that I'm doing copy and pasting is using this really nifty utility called Clippy. It's this over there. It's free. Go just look up CLIPY. And I'm going to do, yeah, whatever, Flexbox. So I can always refer to it when I need to. Okay, so the layout for routines is going to be in H2. And let's look at H2. It's just text align center, and that's about it. Do I already have it centered? Yeah, I don't need centering again. Okay, so, oh, that looks so close. Look at that. And then monthly routines is inside here, and that's an H4. This is also a flexbox. Of course, everything's a flexbox. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Very good. I need to style those H4s with these things. Margin 1 EM? Sure. Why not? That's great. Okay, so then we're down to the individual routine items within the routines. Well, no, hang on. Let me just finish out this the footer. So I need a button because obviously I'm going to repeat this a bunch of times. So off I go creating more code on a CSS day. But you can see how this is coming together. Whoop. Button CSS goes there. Very good. Okay, so what happens here? Export default. I'm thinking right now. Jesus. Oh, it's a button. So I'm gonna have it props.label and then props.onClick. So this is just a pure functional component, and of course I have to import React. Something like that. A very, very simple button, and then I'm gonna export some CSS as well to go along with it. And that's the money bit where I call all this stuff. Oh God. Okay. And just using the buttons in here. I need the footer to go away, and then I use the button. And to prevent myself from the plus weekly, I'm just gonna give it an alert, so I don't do extra coding when I'm not supposed to. Today it's purely meant to be for CSS. Obviously, some coding is required. I also want to make sure I have this installed. So there's like a top level flex direction thing. I don't know what's going on here. What is CSS 1 UA? Oh, can you just do that? No matter. This is a row. Okay, so layout, class name, layout, teams, footer. This guy is, I think, just a flex. What have I done here? Yeah. Whoa, buttons undefined. Do I just do that? I never know how to do these. I was trying to be really concise with my my code, and that obviously failed. So have I copied over all this stuff? I remember I struggled doing this last time. It says weekly and monthly. Am I happy with this? not really. This font thing is killing me. Can I just say inherit for the font? Oh, that's made it a little bit bigger, which is nice. And then how do I make it like bold like that? I am about to conclude that I don't know and move on. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. While we're at it, let's just add a whole bunch of footers because why not? So we've got to do, and Mac is not cooperating with me. To do, notes, and to do. So let's do that. Okay, so we've got to-do lists here. So I might just make this, just call this footer. Call this footer as well. Very generic thing that I can use. Notes, to do plus note. To do over here. To do about nothing. So layout routines. I'm just going to call this layout panel because it's very obvious I'm using it everywhere. Of course, I didn't take my own advice. All right, how's that look? All right, seen better days. Notes is probably an H2 as well, right? All these are H2s. So again, I can, instead of saying layout panel H2, can then wrap this in H2. And then H2 this as well. And then H2 this as well. And those should all look just about right. Yeah. Why do you not look all right? I call you an H2 when you're a child of layout panel and you're not behaving. Why? Oh, the CSS just did not refresh. Of course, that's always the issue with everything. So instead of layout routines body, I probably also just want layout body. So I basically am undoing a lot of the bad code that I did, which is par for the course for me. Yeah, why not? I need to enable my prettier formatting where things just don't look right. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Oh, so much better. All right, so let's go into individual panels and then we'll kind of wrap this up. So routines, are the most complicated one. These are all a bunch of flexes, as with everything. And we got monthly routines, and then we got this is the list of routines. Right? No, this is the individual list. Okay, so they're all neighbors, right? There's no like wrapping div. So this is pretty much I have to use Fragment here to achieve this. And all of them are flex of ones, and then display flex internally. Although I don't know why this is a column. Okay. So may have to rejig some of this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I cannot have divs like this. I can have divs like this. All right, so how do I? Okay, monthly routines, and then they're all neighbors, right? So how do I have it right now? Monthly routines, and then div, and then all neighbors. So that div has to go. I cannot let that div survive. So that's a fragment. And instead of a div here, I put a fragment there. And I'll probably have to do away with this form. I'm probably just going to comment it out for now because that is more logic than I want to handle. Okay, so now each of them have good. So now I can apply a flex of 1 to all of them and then have them look somewhat decent. So routine item is now a top level component, this guy. So a dot routine item 1. And itself is a display flex box. And I'm going to leave it as a flex row because I know that that's how I'm going to be laying out the internals of the routine item. All right. No, it's going to be no visible change really, but when I scale things up and down, well, forget that. I was wrong. So here, what is going on here? Okay, this is expanding properly. And each of these guys should be a flex of 1, but they're not. Maybe because I haven't saved my routine item. Is all this at the right class? And I haven't imported. There we go. So properly responsive. And set up right. Okay, so internally now we turn to these guys. This is a horizontal flex box. And then we've got a whole bunch of these things here. So let's look at how these are organized. This is a div content editable. I have 0 experience of what that is. But I'm just going to go ahead and try it anyway. So dot routine item input, and then a title. Instead of a title, it's a div. Yeah. Class name. Yeah, okay, sure. Then the input looks like input's a div, and then it's a whole bunch of checkboxes. Does the div include the buttons? Nope. Yeah, it does. Oh, what happened there? Oh. Okay. Yeah. And how do I style the inputs? Not at all. I just don't style them. Okay. And why is this is centered? Something I don't understand is how the words are left aligned sometimes and right aligned some other times. Trying to. Nope, not coming to me. This div is editable and it's left aligned. And this div is centered for God knows what reason. Because I have text align center up top. But like that's what you have too. I copied it from you. Did I not? Okay, well, let me see what happens when I take it out. No, I know things are gonna just okay, I can live with that. Let's fix the H2s a little just really quickly. And then monthly routines have to be fixed. So main.js. So that's the H4. Okay, things are mostly back. The search bar is on the left, but we'll figure that out later in a future episode. And then I'm gonna copy SVGs too because I like copying SVGs. So I think this is a nice trick. You may not think so, but that's what I mean. We're here to learn, right? We're here to learn. So function, I think it's minus button. Return. And all this guy, this stuff, this. That's an SVG. Same for plus button. Just copy the element. SVGs and JavaScript. Go to color these at some point. So minus button, plus button, and then I'll use those in here. So the button actually doesn't have any styling. So because right now I have an SVG of a button, and then around it I have the default button. So I'm going to take that away with routine item button. We'll see the update eventually. No. Because I went for direct child. I need to be smarter with my CSS. Oh, look at that. It's exactly the same. It's beautiful. These checkboxes, though, are blue. Okay, yeah, all right. Wow. I'm liking this. Okay, there's a little margin over here. So let's see how that is done. Here's a padding of 10 pixels. You sneaky B. Sneaky BS. Think I didn't notice? I noticed. Look at that. Oh, look at that clone. Okay, so we've pretty much got as far as I wanted to go. The nodes and backlog are going to have followed a pretty similar process. So I'll kind of finish that off in a future episode. But yeah, that's CSS day. Pretty successful now that I've rehearsed. And I'll see you around. Cheers. Bye.